Hi everybody, how's it going today? Thanks for watching another video. Been working at cleaning our hay sheds here the last few days. We had our small hay shed completely cleaned out of all of last year's hay and straw. We got it ready to receive small square bales. So we use these small square bales in our calf hutches, and they come in bundles of 14. I can show you here. So there's 2 bales, you know, up and down, and they're 7 wide, so 14 in total in one bundle. And then they've got 3 ropes that are bundling those 14 together, and we can pick them up with the forks on the telehandler or payloader and unload them and stack them that way. We used to in the past handle them one by one. We had a conveyor, and we would fill this part of this hay shed up to the roof with that conveyor. But a couple years before we had the conveyor, we did it all by hand, and we handed them up to each other, going all the way up that high. That was a lot of work. 2 years ago, the guy that makes these for us, he decided to buy a bundling machine. So it's been really nice not having to handle these by hand anymore. We really like the small square bales for our calf hutches. It's easy to put 1 bale in each hutch, or half a bale in each hutch when we're bedding them. We don't make a big mess with like we do with the big squares or the rounds. We don't ever really use rounds for the hutches, but we will use the big squares if we are out of these. Started getting a few loads in here this week. Should be some more next week, hopefully. The plan is to fill these 3 bays of this hay shed all the way up to the front with straw bales, and then the rest of this hay shed will be grass hay more than likely, and then a few bays of the big squares of straw. I'll show you guys over here how we like to stack things in our hay sheds, so I can go to the bigger one too. So we like to make a wall of squares on one side and then stack up against it. So this wall is going all the way down to the far end, and then we started stacking up against it with our small squares. Kind of helps keep things straight and prevents anything from falling over too easily. So you can see this wall goes all the way down. We still have to finish it going this way, but we started with square bales of straw from last year over there, and then these grass hay bales here, these are from this year, and we have another load of this that we want to put on this side here. These bales here of grass hay, these are actually from 2 years ago. We're feeding these right now, and these were that back wall, so we took all those out, cleaned the floor off a little bit, leveled it back up, and then started making that new stack over there. I'll walk over to our other hay shed. I can show you that one too quick. So that's kind of what we've been working on here the last few days. Like I said, we got a couple loads of round straw bales in. It was the first loads of the year, and we have to head out to a field that a neighbor of ours baled. I think there's 4 loads out there that I want to go get tomorrow. Those are all barley straw, so the wheat's still a few weeks away, it's by the sounds of it, but there's some barley straw that we're starting to haul in. So we're in our big hay shed here now. So I've been working at putting this wall up here, and then that back wall behind those rounds, and then this wall on the left side of the rounds. So we're planning to use about half of this shed for round bales and the other half for squares. So we've got a couple open bays here, and then on the other side of those bales of straw, there's 2 empty bays as well. So these squares that are in here, these are actually carry over from last year. We've got quite a few left over, but that's a good thing. So we've got a few loads of rounds. We'd like to stack the rounds like this. It seems like we can get more in them that way. We want to stack as many rounds inside as we can, but the priority is to get the square bales inside. The rounds will we might be able to get about half of them inside. The rest we'll have to stack outside. The rounds, they shed water a little bit better if they're sitting outside. Preferably we'd like to have them inside, of course, but we don't have the space for that. But the squares definitely is priority to get those inside, because they can't, if they get any rain on them, they'll start to spoil pretty quickly. And we like to use the squares for feeding, so we want those to be good quality. We actually had some kittens born here the other day. Let's see if I can see some up there. Just saw one poking in there. I saw the mom cat catching some mice when I was moving straw bales over there, so at least they're doing something. So yeah, we started on the rounds. We'll go 5 high up against the back wall, and then once we get out a little bit further, we'll go 6 high with the rounds. And with the big squares, we go 8 high. We're debating on if we should go 9 high once we get the clearance space up away from the sides, to try to get a few more in there. We've typically always done 8, because that's we grab 2 at a time, and that's about as high as we can reach. But we could, in theory, grab 3 on those top bales and go 9 high, then we can fit a few more in the shed. A few more, get the squares in a tighter space and get a few more rounds in here, I guess. But we'll see how that goes. I took some footage of me unloading those small squares this morning, so we'll probably have Taryn put that in the video here. You'll see when we're stacking them, you have to be kind of not 100% perfect, but you want to try to get them as straight as you can, because they're pretty finicky. If you get off on one, especially on the bottom 2 rows, you're gonna have trouble once we go higher. everybody. It's the next day here. We had 3 loads of small squares delivered this morning, and 3 loads of big squares. There's one was unloaded already. There's 2 down there that Sam's unloading right now. But I don't know if you guys can tell, we have a little bit of a problem. Had half the stack tip over when I was on the second load of small squares this morning. Not really sure exactly what happened. They tipped over when I was grabbing the next stack of bales. Must have been one off too much, and when one starts to go, then they all go together because they're all kind of, you know, sitting against each other, rubbing against each other. So now I've got some extra work today. Definitely not what I wanted and not ideal. Not really happy with myself, but can't do anything about it now. We'll start to clean it up a little bit. I don't see a lot of broken bunches of bales, so that's a good thing, but it's going to take some time getting them kind of untangled there, I guess, and try to do it in a way that the rest of them don't fall over. And that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, I think, because I can see they're still kind of laying up against the stack that's still standing. You can see that part of the stack that's still standing is starting to lean a little bit too, so I'm definitely gonna have to be careful pulling these apart. Really sucks. It's a few days later here now. We've kind of fixed the stack back up, got everything stacked back inside, and we've had a few more loads delivered here since we had those bales on the left fall down. So I didn't get any footage of us kind of untangling the stacks, I guess. I started on it myself, but we had 6 loads of round bales here on the yard also, and there was a chance of rain that afternoon. So I started stacking those round bales, and then Sam started untangling these bundles of small squares. And I finished it up that morning and then started putting them back in. It went better than I was expecting, actually. There was one bundle broke, and I don't think any individual bales were broke. Some of them were not in the best shape anymore, but we kept those apart and we'll use those up first. Or we put some of them way in the top there where it's not as big of a deal that they're in a nice shape. So we've got about 10,000 of these small square bales coming. I think we're about 3/4 of the way there. I figured we should be pretty close getting all of them in these first 3 bays in our hay shed here, but if they don't all fit in here, we'll put them to the side here in a bay and use those up first. I'll show you the round bale bay also here. We'll walk over to our other hay shed. I'll show you this tractor here quick too. We picked up this used Fendt 724. It's 2016. Has about 4,000 hours on it. Been looking for a used 724 with a loader for quite a while, actually, probably 6 months already. Ended up finding one that there was a few out there. Was looking for something with a few hours on it. We didn't really want anything new or close to new. Was looking for a tractor to kind of replace our 409 Fendt. It's a pretty small tractor, 90 horsepower. We put sand, or we bed our sand bedded freestalls with that tractor every day or every other day, and we use it for stacking straw in the field and loading straw in the field. That tractor is getting starting to get a little bit tired. It was time to upgrade it, I guess. So we decided to go with this 724. This one was I thought it was a reasonable price, just about half of a new one. It looked like it was still in pretty good shape. It was actually in Quebec, Canada. So I didn't actually go look at the tractor, just saw a lot of pictures. Talked to the dealer a couple times about the tractor. Sounded like it was taken care of fairly well by the dealer all the time. So we decided to buy it, and so far we've had a few sensors on it that need to be replaced, but other than that it's been a pretty good tractor. I figured with that many hours on it and being 6 years old that we'd probably have to do some fixing on it, but the price was good enough where I thought that it made sense to do it. So I'm in our south hay shed here. We've got quite a few rounds put in here already. We're not quite full, but we hauled 5 loads off of a field ourselves with our tractors, and then one farmer has been hauling in pretty steady with 2 or 3 trucks and trailers, but they've got everything hauled that they have baled so far. Sounds like they might try baling again tomorrow, or maybe the next day. We've had a few small showers of rain, so they need that straw to dry out again before they can bale some more. So it'd be nice to get this this full of dry straw here as soon as we can, because once it's in the shed, then it can't get rained on anymore, obviously. And once it's full, the rest of the round bales that are coming will stack outside. We've got room on the end of this shed for all the big squares that are coming in, and it kind of sounds like we might be getting a few loads of those in here in the next week or so. Also, I think a couple farmers want to start hauling their big squares to us, so probably get some footage of that once those start coming in. Just wanted to show you guys that quick, and I think I'll end the video here. Yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and if you have any questions or comments, I'll try to answer them below, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one.